Good morning, and welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. In today's video, we are going to continue our infirmary tale. Oh, yep, that's about my speed this morning, just so you know. We're gonna roll with it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. Okay, I'm late getting started. Well, I'm not late. Like, I'm gonna need to go downstairs and start some lunch soon, but I thought I would like to at least kind of get a plan going here with what we're gonna do. So we know now that Hulda set the infirmary on fire with the lit stick that she got under the guise of lighting her pipe, when in fact she lit her bed on fire, therefore setting an inferno in motion that devastated the infirmary. And also now we have 60 residents that were displaced due to the fire. So the question is, where did they go? And as we talked about in the last installment, members of the community took these residents in. Some homes took in just one resident. Some homes took in more than one resident. I could not imagine how that impacted the members of the community, though, because again, remember, we don't know why these people were actually residents at the infirmary. We know that, William was said to have had an enfeebled mind, so he clearly had some issues, and we don't know what his level of ability to function and all that stuff was either, right? So we're just speculating at this point. And so now we are going to say, okay, well, William stayed with a woman whose name was Penelope. Okay, we're going to get somewhere with the choosing of her name is for a reason. So Penelope is made up. So she is where I'm starting to incorporate some fiction into our nonfiction. So Penelope is made up. I really don't know the names of the members of the community at that time. Again, I haven't been to the library. For reference, this is Sunday, February 2nd, and I am filming ahead. So we're creating a character, and she is being developed because Tracie has this beautiful French blue kit that she had released, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's fantastic. Some of the images in this are perfect to create a backstory, okay? So it's 1858. William has gotten displaced due to the fire, and Penelope is the resident in the community, or excuse me, member of the community that takes the resident, William Whitney, in from the infirmary and cares for him, gives him a home during the time that the infirmary is getting rebuilt, okay? So that's our backstory. So we're going to create a page that's going to introduce Penelope into our story. So I have here a young Penelope, and this will be a front view of her, and this is going to be an older Penelope. Now, I am trying to give some history of Penelope in this as well, because the connection between her and William is very important to the story. And we're going to get there. Bear with me. I am really just making this part up, okay? So we need to make a page that introduces Penelope. So it's 1858 when the fire occurs. So she's, a lovely woman, and we're going to say she is, did I do the math? The math is going to matter. We're going to say she's mid-60s-ish. Okay? Just go with it. The math-in's probably not math-in this morning. It's okay. I know my name. I know it's Sunday. That's progress in how I'm feeling, right? I have to get all better. I literally have 48 hours to be better. The body needs to get with the program. Okay. So I just have some bits and pieces from the French blue kits, and I just think they're beautiful. Tracie did a fantastic job. I'm going to set this page to the side here. I'm not sure if I'm going to get that far. I'm not sure how far I'm going to get at all today. But let's get some Penelope introduced to our page here. And I actually think I want to. Okay, so here's the backstory, because we have all these beautiful blue images, all this French stuff. I do know Tracie put a corrected kit out. Excuse me. She said there were some spelling errors. I didn't print it again because I had already printed. So hopefully what I have printed has the things spelled properly. We're just going to go with it. Okay. So Penelope is from France. So Penelope actually moved to the United States. We're going to say she would have been, I don't know, let's go with like 20s, 30s, somewhere in there. I can't remember like the dates of the stories that I kind of like was adding to this. So we're going to loosely say that she was, you know, 20s, 30s. Let's go with 30s. She's a little bit more mature. Okay. So she's leaving France to come to America. I don't know. We're making it up. Just go with it, right? Okay. So I have here some things that have like addresses. Like this I'm going to say this is her address. And I'm going to say that this is the envelope that whatever has come in, right? Yeah, it's got a flap. It's an envelope. It's okay. And this, I don't know, this is an envelope too. So do we, yeah, we have a couple of envelopes. It's good. But they're not actual envelopes. I mean, they're going to be more like little pouches, right? That we're going to put on here. And then we have some correspondence because Penelope had to do some homework in order to make the trek to the US. So she was sending correspondence. Is this factual and historically correct? Probably not. I have no idea if mail was going from, you know, France to the United States at this time. I have no idea. But again, go with it. You know, work with me here. I'm doing the best I can. This is where I need help in the story writing process, okay? Because I don't know what's historically accurate. I'm making it up. All right, so we're going to have some correspondence here. Penelope's been trying to do some homework, and maybe these are correspondence within France. She needed help planning her trip. How about that? That feels better. Does that feel better? I think it feels better. Okay, so anyway, she's planning her trip. So we have this correspondence, and it's in French. I don't know what it says. It says, I want to go to the United States and start my life over again. I need a small, quiet community. For whatever reason that she fled, I don't know. I haven't made that up yet. But she's very deep in thought. She's very, very somber. And she's this lovely young woman. So why is she fleeing? And she's a little bit younger here. You know, this is like not clear. So she can be a little bit older in this picture. And this is what she looks like when she brings William into her home. Okay? So there's that. Okay, so what I have to do is get a plan. I'm just kind of giving you the backstory. Now I have to kind of like find some creative mojo here and get this to come together on the paper. And like, look at that. That's like her little mirror, her looking glass. So she's looking at herself and self-reflecting like, what am I doing here? I have to do something different in my life. I'm a spinster at this point because she's not married, or not that we know of. And in that time, she was definitely a spinster. If she's in her, you know, low 30s and she doesn't have a husband, now she's a spinster. Okay? Okay. It's later. Of course it's later. I can't get anything done. All right. I was digging out some stamps because Penelope, I've got Hulda on my brain because I was just answering messages about today's video. Anyway, Penelope got to make her way from France to the United States, and I still don't have in my head why she moved. So we need a why. Did she perhaps have a relative that wanted some help? So she came to the United States, or to America, to help said relative with something. We don't know. So this correspondence is from London. I don't know what the correspondence is yet. I'm not that far. And I'm trying to wrap my head around a viable story for why she came to the US, but I don't have one yet. So, do you guys have one? Do you have a viable story for why she came here? Because I don't. Okay, so that's that. I really like that. It fit on there perfectly. So, yay. Okay, so I think she needs an ID card. She's going to have like a travel card to get on the plane, whatever. Get on the plane. Hi. Planes were not in existence at this time. But for railroad, I did look up railways and when they began operating, and we are okay to use railroads in this. So she's got to have an identification. Oh, this stamp set. I'm telling you guys, I need to get a couple of little like tins or something to put these in because they drive me crazy. Okay, so I'm going to cut the frame off of her because she needs to have an identification. This is going to be her travel identification. And you know, they tell you like, don't smile. Sometimes they tell you can. I think it depends on who you get when you go like to the DMV or BMV or whatever the alphabet soup is for the motor vehicle department. I think it just depends on where you live. Anyway, so like she's all serious. She's like, I'm serious. I can make this trip by myself. Still don't know why she's doing it though. So this is actually a blue index card that I've coffee dyed, and I don't know what I have dried that on to get those cute little circles, but they're there. So we have that. We're going to have to do like identification card. I don't think I'm going to do stub. I'm just going to ink identification card on there. Ooh, and where is that stamp? I have a stencil. Yeah. Okay. So fun thing, I looked up railways, and in 1827, the Baltimore, Ohio Railroad was actually like one of the first ones. So that was a really interesting little tidbit, and how appropriate because she's in Ohio. Okay, so I have some stamps here, and I'm just thinking I want to just kind of make her a little ID. The thing is, I don't have a last name for her. So I am going to leave the name portion of this kind of blank for now, and I'm going to let you guys help me give Penelope a last name. Now, I don't know, what is the word? Is it alliteration? Where like you have like flaming fuchsia and oh my gosh, I'm just drawing a blank now. Tiny Tim and stuff like that, where the first name, I have such a glare. The first name and like the last name have the same letters or whatever, like Louis Lewis. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. But anyway, so I'm kind of like, do I do something silly like that with her name or whatever? So you guys help me give Penelope a last name. She needs one. The main thing is her first name, so I was like not really bothering with trying to give her a last name. But for the intent of her having a travel ID, she needs a last name. So help me out. So this could be like an interactive story as it unfolds. The problem is I have to film ahead, so I'm in the moment creating, and then I'm like, wait, I need help. But it's okay. I got this. We're gonna do this. So episode 3 aired today, and I have to say, you guys are being amazing with number 1, the editing issue. I didn't think that I had saved the first section where I had messed up so badly with like doing the intro and everything. And so I don't know what I did, but I wasn't feeling well. And so thank you guys for not being like, hi, you gave us super chaotic, crazy intro, and then a more cohesive intro. So I apologize that happened. A lot of times I don't actually listen to videos. I just upload them, and then I hear them like you guys do when I post them. So, yeah. So thank you so much for not being like, what are you doing, Jody? The answer to that is I don't know. Okay, so I'm wondering if I want to put this on here, but I don't think I want to. I think we need like, she needs a number on here for her identification number. I love the font on this stamp. This is one of my favorite ones. This is the Eccentric CMS 448 stamp set. I use this all the time. And the number 5 and the number 3 always want to fall out of it. Drives me nuts. But that's okay. Ooh, I just saw an agent stamp. Did she come to the United States because she was undercover for something? That would have been that would have been really early. What's up at the bottom? Really early on for a woman to be like an undercover agent. But what if she was? Or maybe she was being a spy for something. Was she being a spy of some sort? I don't know that there were any like major events going on at that time that would make that kind of like a fun spin. I mean, I think it's a fun spin, of course, but I'm just rambling. I'm just trying to solidify her story a little bit. Like, I have some things in my head that, like, she's going to be reminiscing about that are kind of like fact-based events, but I don't know yet. Okay, so luggage, go aside. Okay, so I think I just want to use like my fine liner here and hope I get this straight and just put a few lines on here. I don't know what we're gonna fill them in with yet. Well, one of them is got to be her name, right? I hope we're straight. I'm nervous. Oh my gosh. Oh, here, duh, Jody, you know better than that. How about line it up with a straight line so you know it's straight? Hey, novel concept. All right, so we need, oops, a line for her name. What else do we need a line for? That is crooked because it's crooked on my thing. It's all right. It's old and it's imperfect. I'm just going to do a secondary line. I don't know what we're going to need it for yet. Oh, I printed something too. I got to go get something off the printer. I actually have a scanned document that's age appropriate to be in her things. So let me grab that. Okay, so I have her little ID badge made, and I've grunged it up and torn it, and I'm thinking I might need to put a piece of the faux tape on here because that might tear off. But then if it does tear off as we're working on it, I think it's just going to lend itself to a little bit more authenticity or feeling more authentic. And I'm kind of wishing I had done name and a lighter ink because then we could just print over it. Because, you know, sometimes things are grayed out and you have to print over them. But I don't know what it would have been like back then. But it's okay. I have here this document that I printed, and it's really interesting. It didn't print very clearly, but that's okay. I have this scanned. I scanned it in its original format, and then I enhanced it. I printed the original because I wanted it to look old and like worn, and you can't really read what it says. You can see 1841 here. So I'm going to use this in this layout that is just a big jumbled mess on my table still. I don't know exactly where I'm going with it, but we're going somewhere. I was going to stitch that, and I'm thinking, do I want to stitch that or do I want to leave that open? I think I want to stitch it. And then we need to make some progress. So I don't know how long this video is getting to be, but I don't want you to get bored either. I mean, I makes. I'm not always telling stories with my creations, right? Part of the reason we watch is because we like to see what kind of craziness Jody does when she's creating, right? So I need to stop fretting, because if I stop fretting, then the creativity will probably flow more as well. Now, this is the last episode of this that I'm filming ahead. So when I film episode 6, I actually will be back from our trip. So that will be helpful. I have these tickets here, a ticket booth that Sweet Mart got me for Christmas. And I'm thinking I definitely want to put a railway ticket in this as well. So she is doing, okay, so Penelope is doing her planning. She's got her correspondent. She's getting her travel plans together. She's not yet in America. So she's in France making her way to America. She has to be in place, though, in order for William to be able to stay with her. Obviously, she has to be in America in order for that to happen, right? So, yeah. So let's kind of, I just vacuumed, but I still feel embossing glaze everywhere. So this is correspondence. Does that fit in there? It does not. I think I'm going to stitch up both of these sides. Tracie did that in her video with these, and I really like them a lot. So I think if I stitch around this, it's going to tell me how I need to fold our correspondence to go in here. And I'm not worried. Like, if I don't fold that in half and I fold it a different way, that's completely fine, because these are old documents, right? So I could put that there because the US is her destination. So let me, I don't like how dark that is. So let's just cover it, because we can do that if we want to. I'm just going to trim this up a little bit. I didn't do a very good job when I cut it out. Okay. I have to say, I really, really love when I see something and I get inspired and it gets, you know, Susie out of the corner, because she's been hiding for quite a while, if I'm being perfectly honest. You know, sometimes you're like, oh, my plate's full. My plate is so full that I'm about to lose my peas all over the floor. So I'm over it. I'm ready for my life to settle down, get back to normal, and just feel like things are getting back to normal. I mean, I'm just like, oh my gosh, too much going on in my personal life for sure. I'm about to lose my mind. And not even having to do with the RV, which, by the way, I do have an update on that. Not that it's super exciting, but it is an update. Okay, what was I going to do? Oh, I'm gonna go sew this, and I think I will sew this. I'm wondering if I should notch that out a little bit, or even, I don't want to refold it because she's got all this really great wear there. I'm just gonna stitch around these. Okay, I've stitched around them. I do still have dark brown thread. I mean, I keep waiting at any moment for it to run out, and then I hopefully will be done with sewing, because I have to go to black then. I completely spaced. We went to Erie last night to have dinner with it was so sweet. My son's birthday actually is today. And he was going to eat, and him and his girlfriend, and one of their, like, it's kind of like the other couple that they hang out with all the time. Really, the girl is so cute, and her husband was really sweet. He's got kind of an interesting voice, and I was going to ask my son if he was sick or if his voice is just kind of that way, because I really enjoyed listening to him. He was kind of hard to hear. But anyway, they were just really seemed to be very nice. Of course, they might have been on their best behavior because we were there. But anyway, the girl's got the most beautiful ice blue eyes. I mean, just such striking eyes. Anyway, so we had a really good time. What was it? Where was I going with that? Oh, but I forgot to run in Joann and get a spool of thread. So I have to try to remember to get some dark brown thread. Okay, really like those. I'm glad I stitched around them. I need to go ahead and take some ink to the back of these. And I think I'm going to start with antique linen. Let's set our page base aside because I don't want to get that all crazy. And this blue one, I think I'm going to go ahead and set it aside. I don't know where I'm at with that. We have to use that. That's made. Oh, where's my little magnifying glass? I was heat embossing this, and it's a magnifying glass. It's not going to be a mirror. She's reading her correspondence. So, like, this is super tiny print. So she's like put your lid on your glue, needing some assistance. So that's her magnifying glass that she's using to read her correspondence and stuff. So we have that. That's not ready. All right, set these aside. Yeah. So it's coming together. It's like formulating in my head, and I'm really enjoying it. I like the historical stories too. I think it's really fun, and I just like to spin them, you know. And again, I'm not really spinning this. This is not a story that I'm aware of that has been written. Obviously, Penelope hasn't been written. She's a figment of my imagination. But as far as like the history of it and stuff, I mean, there's an account, like William he was mentioned in that historical book, probably because he was such a unique character. But we're going to get into that. Like, he's special. And part of why he's captivated me is he is special. And I just think that, I think he was probably like, what's the word? When you have, he was probably an integral part of the community at that time. And people, you know, you get used to seeing certain people and, you know, just in day-to-day stuff, even though maybe he didn't have a historical significance, I'm choosing to believe that he had significant, I believe he, based on what I've read, that he had significant meaning in the community. I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want to give anything away yet. We're not to that point yet. So I am just alternating with a little bit of vintage photo and the antique linen just to kind of get some interest on here. I obviously have something going on with my brush, why it's leaving those big streaks, but it's all right. So I'm going to do this to both of them. I'm going to ink around the outside edges and then figure out how I want them to be as far as fitting in these pouches. And I'm not doing exactly what Tracie did, but honestly her make is what kind of gave me the idea to use these this way, which is really cool because it's her design. So it's good that she's inspiring us to do things. So yeah, I'm just going to finish inking. Okay. I have gone down the rabbit hole of stamping out these transportation stamps, and I love them. But I don't understand my Versa Fine ink is not wanting to dry on that yellow cardstock. It's really frustrating. But I got some really cool bits here. So I love these stamps, and I'm trying to keep myself focused so I can get through this video. But I just was sitting here stamping a bunch of these out because I'm like, oh, these are fantastic. But I wanted some in different colors, okay? But I have extras now that if they ever dry, I can put in the ephemera bin and then we'll have them. So that is something, I think I said that before, like I want to stamp extra images to have them, stuff like that. Just going forward, I think it'll be nice. Now I like this one because it says single at the bottom. So I think we'll use that one in yellow, this one in green, and then we're going to end up with 2 in the coffee dyed paper. And these were just some scraps I had sitting here. So no big deal using those. And what I'm thinking as I'm stamping these is that in her correspondence, with trying to make arrangements for her travel to America, they're sending her tickets because that's part of it. Like she's has to purchase her transportation tickets. So I don't have a boat one, but this just says transportation company. That's railroad. This I don't, oh, it says motor services, but we're going to go with it on this. So we're just going to pretend some of this is boat fare, some's train fare, some is just whatever, so that she can get where she's going on her travels to make her way across the pond to get to the States. So, oh, that's still wet. I just smeared it, but they're really old tickets and it's fine. I'm going to go with it. I even took my heat tool to this, so I don't understand what it is about this cardstock. I mean, look at my thumb. I don't understand what it is about this cardstock, that ink is just like sitting on top. But I love the color of that kind of orangey yellow. Like it's super bright, so you don't misplace your ticket when you're traveling. Oh, I guess that's on my brain right now. But anyway. Okay, so getting these inked, and then I just wanted to show you, though, I just really like those a lot. I love that stamp set, so I have to remember to thank Mark again for getting that for me for Christmas. Okay, I'm going to put these blocks away. I wish I had, like, a pretty frame for her, but I have to figure out what we're going to do with her. And then where is, yeah. And maybe I need to hold on to this version of Penelope for another page. So I'm going to set her there. I don't think I'm going to use her in this layout. I think we have enough for this that is introducing her to the story. So yeah, but I really like this for her correspondence bits, and like that can fit in there. Yeah. Okay, so so I have backed her. I want to make her a tuck, I decided. So she should be drying. I just backed her with a little bit of book page and then another strip here just to make sure that she's going to be stable enough. I will probably going to round this corner. And then I was thinking, I like this blue paper, but I don't think that's what I want to do because I think that's just an awful lot of like blue on that page. And I'm also contemplating going ahead and spreading this over the 2 pages. I'm just not quite sure yet if that's what I want to do. This piece I want to save for later, even though this is absolutely beautiful. Now this I think would be more of a mirror. It's a short handle and bigger. And then
Oh, what did I do with my piece? Yes, I definitely want to use my piece here. So I think the blue one I'm going to set aside. And I'm going to use this one because I feel like this is maybe her portfolio where she is keeping track of everything. She has to make sure she's on top of it. There's so much that has to be organized and records and everything. Like, I don't know. I personally have not traveled internationally. See, the last time I went somewhere, well, we went to Niagara Falls and we went over to stay on the Canadian side to visit Niagara Falls, and we drove up to Niagara on the lake, which was beautiful. But I mean, I don't know that that really constitutes a level of organization that I'm thinking. But for example, to make sure I have this upright, like when we went to Mexico for our honeymoon, I had to kind of keep track of that because there was a lot involved, because I had to change my name and all those good fun things. But I'm thinking I don't necessarily care about this corner, so I think she could be sitting here and she's like, I just need to take a moment to myself, reflect on what I'm doing, why am I doing this, and then we can tuck our bits, you know, our story bits in here. And then if I have to carry over into the other page, I certainly can do that. I also could just narrow this down to one envelope, but I really like the idea of using two, but they're getting kind of fat. So that's kind of but it's a make I'm making. Of course, it's going to be chunky, like my girlfriend. I have a couple of wonderful friends that are truly gifts in my life. And, well, I say a couple, I have 3 specific ones that I have like a constant continuing conversation with all the time. And one of them is like, she's so funny. Of course, it's a fat make, Jody. That's how you create. I'm like, it's getting so chunky. Of course it is. You made it. And she's not wrong. What did I do with my crocodile? My corner chomper. Oh, when I rearranged, I put it in my bin of punches, and I apparently haven't used it because I didn't remember where I had put it. But anyway, so I accept this about myself. I make really chunky journals, and I like that with this specific one, with the way that I'm thinking I'm going to end up binding this. And no, I have not determined if I'm going to do a tab binding or like the scrapbook style where the twine is through here. I'm still kind of working that out in my head. I just don't know what I want to do yet. I'm not sure that this is the right project for a tab binding. I'm leaning toward like twine in here to stitch it together so that it can still open. That's the way I'm leaning because of bulk and stuff. I'm not sure. I feel like, do I actually want some trim on this page? I think I might. I'm trying not to heat emboss more, but I really love these flowers and kind of want to pop them to life. So we're going to do it really quickly. I'm just going to heat emboss this flower cluster just to pop it off the page because I really like it. And then I think I do want to find just a little piece of trim to go here. Just for some soft feminine touch. This is mostly going with blues and everything, but I don't know. I really like it. And then I'm like, do I push that up a little bit? Do I run a piece of something else here to make that another pocket? But I don't want to. I don't want to take away from her because I love her. I think she's gorgeous. I really love that image. So, okay, I'm just going to heat emboss that. Should I stitch around that? Maybe I'm going to stitch around those 2 sides. Okay. I have to somehow control this obsession that I'm having with the distress glazes because I just want to distress everything now. But I did my flourish stamp on here. I love it. So this is napkin that is decoupage just onto a tag base. And I started to stick it on the Eiffel Tower. And then I thought, well, when was the Eiffel Tower built? Way after our story. So I'm really glad I checked that because that could have been really bad. I forgot I wanted to put some trim in here. Here's just a little piece of blue scrap. So if I put that in with something else, that might be a super cute little pull tab on our, I can't pull my entire bin out because of course I have a mess. Oh, I have to get done with this video. I have to clean up. I cannot leave this mess here for like when I come home. Oh, poop. All right. Those holes aren't gonna hurt anything, right? I just have a piece of trim where I had cut it, and then I must have cut it just to get the flowers off the bottom of this, but kept the top of it because I thought, oh, well, that might be kind of fun to use in something. So I think I'm just gonna just clip this down. I'm not gonna sit here and continue to try to fight it into a torn piece. So, because I don't need the whole thing anyway. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I like that. Let's do something like, give me that piece out of the way for a minute. Oh, I know what I want to do. I'm mumbling, I know, sorry. I'm trying to work my way in my head through how I want to do this just to get some interest and tactile bits in here. I really am hoping this whole, I don't even know if I'm going to call it a journal. Is it a storybook? Is it a journal? Like, what is this that we're making? I'm not sure yet. I really don't know. That's not working. I'm going to fuss with this. I'll be right back. Okay, I think I'm done because I keep thinking I want to add a charm on here, but the charm that I keep thinking I want to add is the Eiffel Tower, and I just got done saying that the Eiffel Tower was built after our story. So I'm done for now. I might be adding like a little bit more to our page. I'm not sure. And now I'm wondering, do I want to add our tag over here? No, I just feel like we're missing something here. Like I still need something here. I'm just not sure what it is. And maybe I need to find just, I don't know. We need something else in this area. Maybe I take this and put it. But I don't think so. No, that's not it. That needs to stay over here with our envelope, and I just took it out, so I gotta put it back in. Put it back in. That's not what we need. I just had to figure out what it is that I'm wanting, because I like that pop of red back there, so I'm gonna leave that. Okay, so I need something else here, but I'm not there. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to just stick something in there for no reason. So on this page, we have Penelope, and she's contemplating life. She's been doing her homework and research, and she's been writing and dealing with a travel agent. I don't know if they existed then. But anyway, and she's making her plans to travel to America. Now she is ready. She has her ID card from the transportation company. She's ready to go. She has all of her documents ready to go. And so next, she's going to end up being in America because she plays an important role because she houses William. So I have repeated that a couple of times because I just want to make sure I'm clear about it. And did I say it or have I just thought it? Because this is a lot for my brain to try to do this. So if you have any suggestions on what else to add to this pocket, we need something here to fill this in. And, you know, I mean, I don't want that to be just kind of, you know, so anyway. Okay, well, thank you for joining me. I hope you like the introduction of Penelope. I hope it just shows how you can use these kits and just create your own story. I mean, so many creatives are excellent storytellers. I'm not an excellent storyteller, but I am enjoying this story. And hopefully, as time goes by, I will get more comfortable doing this. I'm truly intrigued by so many characters that lived in historic times and not necessarily the famous ones. I mean, there are everyday people who were so intriguing and fascinating, and I just really would love to bring them to life. So, having said that, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being with me on this crazy journey of trying to come up with a story. And your kind comments, again, are so very much appreciated. So, thank you for being here. I love you all. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.